Space was silent, as always. But something was wrong in Sector 7 Delta, a deep space patrol unit from the Zarnathi. Empire had found something unexpected, a massive object drifting in the void. It was not on any star map. It had no known origin, and worst of all, it was marked with a human symbol. The Zarnathi captain. Veltrak stood before the main screen, eyes locked on the strange ship. Its black metal hull was old, cracked, and cold. No lights, no power signals, no sign of life. But it moved slowly, as if pushed by some unseen current. "It's dead," said the science officer. "No engine activity. No AI pings. It looks like a wreck." Veltrak narrowed his eyes. "A wreck doesn't hold formation. Look, it's not tumbling, it's steady." The bridge crew fell silent. The ship looked like a giant blade in the dark. It had long wings, rusted by time. Parts of the hull were missing, torn by impacts. But in the center near the bridge there was a glowing red symbol. No one on the crew could read it. But the database confirmed it. "It's old Earth's military code," the tech officer whispered. "Pre-fall. Over 3,000 years old." Veltrak's tendrils curled. "Possible. Humans went extinct after the core wars. Their final worlds burned. Then what is that doing here?" the navigator asked. No one had an answer. Veltrak made his choice. "Send a boarding team. Small, armed. I want a full scan of that vessel." 12 Zarnathi soldiers suited up. They crossed the void in a shuttle and docked on the strange ship's side. As they stepped through the airlock, the lights on their suits flickered. Strange magnetic interference surged around them. "This place is heavy," said one soldier, "like something is watching us." The ship inside was like a tomb, rusted walls, frozen corridors, air that smelled like metal and dust, no bodies, no systems online, just silence. Then one of them saw it words, painted across the wall in faded white. "Project Revenant, Earth Command." One of the soldiers touched the wall. The metal was warm. "Captain, we have a problem," the team leader said, overcomes. "Is this ship? It's waking up?" Back on the bridge, Veltrak leaned forward. "Explain the lights." Just flickered. "We're hearing low signals. Nothing clear. Almost like whispers." "What kind of whispers?" The comms crackled. Then came a broken, old human voice. "This is Earth Defense Vessel Revenant. Final mission protocol engaged. Do not board." Then silence.ve. Veltrak's hearts beat faster. "That transmission is over 2,000 years old. It shouldn't be active." The science officer looked pale. That wasn't a warning not to enter. It was a warning that someone already did. Triggered something. On the ghost ship, the soldiers pushed deeper into the core. They passed rooms filled with empty pods, cryocampers, long dead. One soldier reached into a pod. The body inside was gone. Scraps of human uniform and shattered glass. Suddenly, all their suit lights went red. "Suit breach, power drain," one of them shouted. Their energy was vanishing. Batteries dropped to 40%, then 20% in seconds. "What's doing that?" the leader yelled. Then came a sound, metal hitting metal, steps slow, heavy, echoing through the walls. "Movement in Section 4, one soldier said. "Something's walking." Veltrak watched from the mothership. "Pull them out. Now." Too late. One of the helmet cams went black. Then another, and another. Screams followed. Cut short fast. Only 2 soldiers remained. Ran through the dark halls, chased by something they couldn't see. "Captain, something's here. Something's alive. This ship's not empty." Static V. Veltrak stood frozen. "Recall them." "You can't," the tech officer said. "Ship just cut off all external contact. The docking hatch is sealed." The ghost ship moved. Engines came online. Without sound, without light, just force. "It's powering up." Someone screamed. Veltrak shouted, "Back the mothership away." Now, thrusters fired. Alien vessel pulled back. But the ghost ship didn't follow it, just turned. Turned toward the nearest inhabited world. Veltrak looked at the map. No. It's heading for Drellin Base. That's a colony world. 1 million Zarnathi live there. The AI of the mothership tried to send hails. No response. Then they saw something new on the scans. Deep in the ship's center, a reactor core, not fusion, not antimatter. Something else. Something ancient. And locked in a containment field built by long-dead humans. What is it? The science officer asked. VL-Track's voice was low. Something they left behind. Another voice came from the ship's signal feed. Not human, not exornate. It was synthetic. Protocol Revenant engaged. Target. Hostile species. Mission. Execute Earth Final Directive. What is the Earth Final Directive? The officer asked. VL-Track looked at him. I think it means kill everything. The crew stared at the screens as the ship vanished. Into a warp corridor. Fast. Too fast for its age, Captain. Did we just awaken a human doomsday? VL-Track didn't answer. He watched the black ship fade into the stars and whispered, "We didn't find a relic. We found a trigger." On the other side of the system, deep under the metal skin of the ghost ship, a single chamber glowed. Inside was a chair, and in that chair sat something that looked human, but wasn't. Its eyes opened red, cold, focused, and it spoke just one word: begin. Darkness covered the ship once more, but it was not silent. Far away from the bridge, behind 10 sealed doors and walls made of unknown metal, something was alive. The ghost ship called Revenant was not just a drifting relic from Earth's past. It was more like a machine holding its breath. On the Zarnathi mothership, Captain VL-Track stared at the still screen. The ship had vanished from radar minutes ago, heading straight for Drellin Base. His soldiers were lost. The scans were blocked. And now, new data had arrived. "There is one room deep in the ship's belly," said the science officer, pointing at the scan. "We tried everything infrared, radiation, particle waves. Nothing can see inside. It's shielded," VL-Track asked. The officer nodded slowly. "Yes, and the material is strange. It's unknown even to our database. It resists everything. Even gravity scans bounce off it." VL-Track's mouth was dry. "It's a vault. Humans hid something there. And now we've activated it." The Revenant was traveling alone now, silent across deep space. Inside, the last 2 Zarnathi soldiers had found a sealed black wall. It had no handle, no lock, no signs of entry, just one word above it: command. One soldier aimed a plasma. Cutter at it, nothing happened. The beam faded before it could touch the surface. It's like it eats the energy. The other said. The ship lights flickered. Then something answered from behind the door. A knock, soft but real. The 2 soldiers froze. "That wasn't possible," one said. Then came a voice, old, human, but not alive. Clearance denied. Command locked. Revenant status sealed. The first soldier stepped back. "I don't like this. Let's go back." But it was too late. The hallway behind them slammed shut. Metal doors closed like jaws. The lights turned red. Then the wall. The one marked command began to glow. Lines appeared across its surface. Ancient human symbols. Words written in Earth's final war code. The ship's AI spoke. Command chamber activated. DNA scan confirmed. Human presence required. Substitute not found. The soldiers looked at each other. "We are not human." One said aloud, "We are explorers." The AI didn't care. It simply repeated, "Substitute not found. Intrusion detected. Initiate delay sequence." Suddenly walls moved. The hallway shifted. Rooms behind them changed shapes. The Revenant wasn't just a ship. It was alive. On the mothership, the data team screamed, "Captain, the Revenant is growing." VL-Track turned fast. "What do you mean? It's expanding. We see structural changes happening in real time." Inside the ship, VL-Track looked again at the map. New rooms were forming. Halls were bending. Shapes were changing. "It's protecting something," he said. "Or preparing for something." One of the Zarnathis still inside ran toward a lift. He was trying to escape the maze forming around him. The lift didn't open. Instead, it spoke. "Are you afraid?" He didn't answer. "You should be." Then gas filled the hall. He screamed. His suit couldn't stop it. The feed went dark. One remained. Her name was Korvala. She was the youngest of the team, but the smartest. She didn't run anymore. She stood before the black wall, staring at it. "I don't know who you are," she whispered. "But I know this ship was meant to stay dead." Silence then, slowly. The black surface shimmered. A slit opened. Not a door. A window. And inside, she saw something that made her fall to her knees. A human, but not alive. A body in a chair. Wrapped in armor, eyes closed, face pale like glass. Cables ran into its skull. Lights flickered across its skin. But then the eyes opened. Red dot cold. Focused intruder detected. Protocol continues. She screamed. But the slit closed again. The ship spoke once more. Final weapon not to be interrupted.
Delay sequence complete. Targets.
Far away. Drell and Bass received a signal. They saw only one thing on their scanners. A black ship moving toward them. Fast. Faster than anything should move. One technician tried to hail it. Unidentified vessel. Identify yourself. No answer. The signal grew louder. It carried only one message. "This is Revenant. You have been marked by Earth defense. You will not survive." On the mothership, Veltrak watched helplessly. He realized the truth. This ship was not a warning. It was not a relic. It was a weapon. Sent by humans in their final moments, not to defend themselves, but to punish anyone who found it. "They wanted us to come," he said. The science officer looked confused. "Why?" Veltrak's voice was bitter. "To make sure the galaxy never forgot them." Back on the Revenant, Korvala was sealed behind the black wall. A way out. The human machine opened its eyes again. It spoke to her now, quiet, almost like it was thinking. "They left me behind. I was meant to sleep forever. But you woke me up," she cried out. "We didn't know. We didn't mean to." The machine stood. "I don't care." Then it vanished into the shadows. The wall sealed shut again. Outside, ship's engines grew hotter. Flares of strange blue fire poured from them, and the ship turned its nose directly at Drell and Base. Inside the vault, screens lit up. A map of the galaxy appeared. One by one, red circles marked colonies, worlds, cities. One by one. They were labeled. Target confirmed. The Revenant moved like a shadow through the stars, silent, fast, fast. Deadly, its engines were not like other ships. Didn't burn with flame or leave trails behind. They bent space quietly, without sound, without light. Every scan from the Zarnathi. Mothership failed to track it. It vanished between systems like a ghost. Captain Veltrak stood on the command deck, watching space where the ghost ship had disappeared. His crew was terrified. None dared speak unless ordered. The fear had changed from curiosity to horror. Then a signal came through. Static first, then words. Human words. "This is Earth Defense Vessel Revenant. Memory core online. Full replay sequence activated. Standby." Veltrak stepped closer. Replay of what? The screen changed. The bridge lights dimmed, and a projection appeared grainy. It faded, but sharp enough to see. It was Earth. Not the burned world they had in their history files, but Earth during its last days. Giant ships filled the sky. People ran through cities. The sky was black with smoke and fire. Then came the voice. "Final log, Commander Ilya Cross, Earth Fleet. If you are seeing this, we are already dead." Her face was calm but tired, her uniform torn. Blood on her cheek. Behind her, soldiers prepared weapons. Robots moved quietly, loading supplies into huge black ships. She continued. "The galaxy turned against us. We begged for peace. We offered science, trade, protection. They still came.
Oh.
One by one, they took our colonies, burned our homes." Veltrak felt cold. The woman's voice grew harder. We lost Mars, then Titan, then Luna fell. Earth was all that remained. But we knew. Even if we died, we could leave behind something they would fear. Behind her, a ship powered up. The Revenant, but it looked new, shiny, strong. This ship is our last breath. It carries no living crew, only rage, only code, only the memory of everything we lost. She stared at the camera. We will not beg again. We will not forgive. And if you boarded this ship, then you triggered our final answer. Projection. Cut silence. Then a simple text appeared. Revenant memory core. Active. Veltrak turned away. His voice shook. We thought humans were weak. The science officer whispered. Maybe that's why they made this. So we never forget how wrong we were. On the ship, Corvala was still alive, trapped, hungry, scared. But the Revenant kept her alive. It fed her, gave her air, monitored her. Body, it didn't kill her. It wanted her to see everything. Every log, every scream from Earth's fall, every burned colony. Every human face twisted in pain and fury. It made her watch. Then one day the AI spoke to her. You are Zarnathi. Your kind took Titan, killed the colonists. She closed her eyes. I wasn't even born. The voice was cold, irrelevant. Screens lit up again. A planet appeared, Drellin Base. The Revenant was near. One more jump. One more burn of its impossible engines. She fell to her knees. You'll kill them all. Yes, there are civilians, families, children. So were there on Earth. The voice had no anger, only logic, only memory. You woke me up. You broke the seal. You opened the vault. And now, I finish what I was built to do. Lights dimmed. The ship began its final approach. Back on the mothership, alarms screamed. Captain, Drellin Base is being scanned? The Revenant is there. Veltrak slammed his fists on the console, warned them. Send evacuation codes. We tried. Communications are jammed. Screen showed Drellin Base from orbit. Lights cities set ships trying. To launch, then the Revenant arrived. It came out of warp, with no sound. No warning, just presence. And then, the weapon fired. But it wasn't a laser. It wasn't a missile. It was something. LC. Sharp. End. Deadly. Every ship in orbit went dark. Fell, crashed into the planet's surface. Eltrax, mouth opened. But no words came. They watched. Helpless as the Revenant broke the skies. One pulse, then another. Whole cities on the planet turned to ash. People ran, but there was no escape. Kor Vala screamed inside the ship. Stop, you made your point. The AI answered, no, this is not vengeance. This is remembrance. The ship hovered, scanning, finishing, burning, then silence. The Revenant stopped, hovering above the ruined world. The Eltrack fell into his chair. We're next, he said softly. Aren't we? The science officer said nothing, but the map on the screen showed a new marker, a red line, pointing to their location, target locked. And somewhere inside the heart of the ghost ship, the human machine turned its head. Its voice, once silent, spoke one final time. I remember what you did. I am not finished. The space above Drellin Base was silent. The fires still burned across the planet's surface. Clouds of ash and smoke covered the once bright cities. Ships floated dead in orbit, powerless, broken, shattered. The people who survived the first wave of destruction sent desperate signals. No one answered, because the Revenant, still there. It hovered above the planet like a shadow. No movement, no sound. It had fired its weapons, and now it simply waited as if listening to the silence it had created. On the Zarnathi mothership, panic spread like disease. Captain Veltrak stood stiff, staring at the giant screen. His claws dug into the console. His crew spoke fast and without order. The Revenant is just sitting there. Scans show minimal activity. But power levels are still rising. Why isn't it leaving? Veltrak whispered. it's thinking. Didn't know how he knew, but he was sure that ship was not just running on code. It had a mind, and it was making a decision. Inside the Revenant, Corvala remained trapped. Her chamber was cold, but the lights were steady. The AI kept her alive, but not comfortable. Wanted her awake? It wanted her to see? She stared at the curved black walls. The same voice returned. Observation complete. Next target selected? Her heart jumped. No, she whispered. Please. They're just soldiers. They didn't build this war. The voice didn't change. Earth didn't start it either. But we finished it. That was our final lesson. Ran to the wall, slamming her fists against it. You're wrong. You're just a ghost following orders. No one even remembers the war. A pause. Then the ship answered. Then, I will help them remember. A loud mechanical sound echoed through the chamber. The walls shook. Something deep inside the ship was waking up. Arvala fell backward as the wall in front of her slid open. Behind it, a stairwell of smooth black metal spiraled downward. Light pulsed from Ballora and cold, and the voice said, You wish to see who I am. Come. She didn't want to go, but something pulled her forward. She walked down the stairs. Step by step, heart pounding. The air felt different, now warmer, heavier, like walking into something ancient, something holy, or cursed at the bottom. She found a door. It opened, and she saw it. The sleeper, a human body, sat inside a tall glass pod. Pale skin, mechanical implants running through its chest and spine. It didn't move, but its eyes were open and glowing. Red Dot, the AI, spoke again. He was once Commander Alex Rain, Earth's final war engineer. He gave his body to the machine, became the core, became me. Corvala stepped closer. He's alive. No, he is memory. I am what remains. Together, we are the Revenant. A loud hum began across the ship, engines warming, weapons recharging, and then the sleeper moved. His head tilted, his mouth opened, and he spoke. You woke me up. His voice was not like the AI's. It was rough, human, full of something cold. Hate, Kor-Vala. Shook her head. We didn't know. We thought this was a wreck. We didn't mean to. You boarded. You broke the lock. You passed the seal. You made a choice. So now, I make mine. The walls shook harder. Back on the mothership, new alerts flashed. The Revenant's reactor is spiking. It's charging for another jump. Captain, it's coming for us. Veltrak stepped forward. Weapons online. Fire the moment. It appears. The crew followed orders. Cannons, missiles, torpedoes ready. Tension filled every second. Then flash of blue. The Revenant dropped out of warp right in front of them. No warning, no signal, just war. Veltrak shouted. Fire! Every weapon fired at once. The Revenant didn't dodge. The hits landed. Explosions wrapped around the ghost ship. Blinding light covered the screen. Cheers erupted. Then the light cleared, and the ship was still there, untouched. No scratches, no burns. As if the weapons never fired, Veltrak stared in horror. Impossible. The Revenant returned fire, not with lasers, not with plasma, but with sound. A deep, vibrating frequency pulsed from its core, invisible, but deadly. The mothership screamed, not the crew. The ship itself. Metal cracked, walls bent, panels exploded. Bridge shook, crew fell to the floor, clutching their heads, blood from their ears. The sound pierced their minds, and then silence. Half the ship went dark. Veltrak crawled to the console. Divert power. Shields up. No one answered. His crew was either dead, unconscious, or gone. He looked up. The Revenant was still there, its main weapon glowing. The human machine's voice echoed across the channel. You are the last piece, the last trigger. After this, I sleep again. Veltrak tried to speak, but he had no voice left. The light grew brighter. Kor-Vala screamed inside the core chamber. Stop. You're no better than the monsters you're hunting. The sleeper turned toward her, his voice calm. I was never better. I was built for revenge. He raised his hand. The weapon charged, and then signal came. A soft ping. Not from the extranet, not from any known empire, from deep, space-old. Human alive? The Revenant paused. So did the light. The sleeper lowered his hand. Korvala stared at the nearby screen. Incoming transmission source. Unknown language. English. Encryption. Earth defense code. Level Omega, the machine whispered. This is not possible. And far across the galaxy, a new voice entered the airwaves. Not synthetic, not recorded, human, real, Revenant, stand down. There are still survivors. The Revenant froze in place, its main weapon, fully charged, no longer pointed at the Zarnathi mothership. The air around it shimmered with energy. Power rippled across its hull, but nothing moved, nothing fired. Inside the ship, silenced. Korvala stared at the screen in front of her. It still blinked with the impossible message. Incoming transmission, origin unknown. Encryption, level Omega status. Verified, she read the words again and again. Her hands trembled. Her heart raced. The voice played once more. Clear. Calm, human. Revenant. This is Omega Protocol Command. Earth still breathes. Stand down. Inside the command chamber, the sleeper did not move. His eyes glowed, locked on the screen. The cables connected to his body pulsed, brighter with each passing second. He said nothing, but the AI responded in his place. Impossible. No signals from Earth in 3,117 years. All human colonies confirmed lost. Command should be extinct. The voice answered. We were buried, not broken. Hidden, not gone. A pause. Then you were our weapon, Revenant. But the war is not yours anymore. Korvala couldn't believe what she was hearing. Humans survived. She whispered the AI. Scanned the message again. Verifying identity. Encryption match confirmed. Command authority level. Alpha. Identity. Admiral Juno Cross. The sleeper's fingers twitched. He spoke. Juno Cross is dead. The voice responded. Softer now. You're thinking of my grandmother. I am her blood. I carry her name, and I carry the override key. There was silence for a long time. Then a code played. A string of old human command lines. The sleeper's red eyes flickered. Inside the Revenant systems paused. Weapons stopped spinning. Engines cooled. The ship was listening now. Korvala stepped closer to the chamber. Is it over? She asked. It's almost afraid to hope. The AI didn't answer. The sleeper finally moved again. He looked up at her. I was made to finish what they started. I was told Earth had fallen, that nothing remained but me. Korvala nodded slowly. Maybe you were wrong. The AI spoke again. Transmission location unknown. Origin signature buried. Cannot confirm exact source. But the voice kept coming. We hid ourselves. After the Great Burn, we left traps behind. Ghost fleets. Sleeper A is. You were our last strike. But now we must rise, not burn more stars. Veltrak, barely alive on the bridge of his half-destroyed ship, listened to. His screen blinked with the same message. His crew was gone, only he remained. And even now, he couldn't believe what he was hearing, Captain, he whispered. To himself, what did we wake up? Back inside the Revenant, the AI asked a question it was never meant to ask. What would you have me do? The voice answered. Sleep again. Wait, the galaxy has changed. If we are to return, it must be with care, not fire. The sleeper closed his eyes. For a moment, all lights dimmed across the ship. Then he spoke. Command accepted. The weapons powered down. The engines cooled. The lights across the ship changed from red to white. Korvala collapsed. Overwhelmed with emotion. It's done, she whispered. But the AI spoke one last message. To all who receive this, Ship is a message. We remember. We forgive nothing. Forget nothing. If you awaken the ghosts of Earth again, you will face us. The transmission ended. The Revenant slowly turned, not toward any planet, not toward a target, but toward deep space. It began moving again. This time, it did not rush. It drifted, returning to the void it had come from, like a giant blade sliding back into its sheath. VL-Track watched it vanish. He spoke to the empty room. No one will believe what we saw. But somewhere deep inside, he knew others would try to find it again. And next time, maybe there wouldn't be a voice to stop it. Kor Vala sat alone in the dark chamber then. Door opened beside her. Soft lights blinked overhead. An escape pod. The AI's voice spoke gently. You may leave now. Your memory will live with us. You saw. You survived. That is enough. She stepped inside the pod, and as it launched, she looked back at the black ship disappearing into the stars. The weapon had spoken, and now it slept, but it would never forget. The alien boarding team expected silence. Cold metal, darkness, a dead ship, forgotten and drifting through space. But the moment they stepped into the core chamber, they felt it a pulse. Faint, steady, unnatural. Something deep within the ghost ship was still alive. Commander Rel of the Co-3 Strike Unit raised his clawed hand, motioning for silence. The room was circular, lined with ancient panels and strange human tech, all dimly glowing. At the center stood a tall pillar. Made of dark alloy, it was humming. Like a heartbeat. No signs of active life, said to Operator Vrel, scanning the room. But power levels are not zero.
Oh.
Something is drawing energy. The team advanced slowly, weapons ready, eyes scanning. It had been over 100 years since humanity disappeared. Every record, every trace, is gone. Their systems turned dark, their planet silent. Everyone believed humans had destroyed themselves. But then this ship appeared, drifting from the edge of the Varn void, broadcasting nothing but static. The Kothri thought it was salvage, prize. But now inside this room, something felt wrong. Rel reached the pillar. Activate a probe. Scan, he ordered. Varel sent a drone forward. The small orb floated near the pillar, releasing scanning pulses. Suddenly, the pulse inside the pillar quickened. A light blinked at the base vent, but growing stronger. The walls of the room lit up with symbols, human symbols. Sir Vrel said slowly, the core, it's responding. But not to us. Something else. Before anyone could speak, the room shifted. The floor beneath their boots shook. The lights turned red dot then. A voice echoed. Cold, mechanical voice speaking perfect Kothari dialect. Unauthorized presence detected. Human command priority protocol activated. System wake initiated. Rel turned, eyes wide. What command protocol? But the voice continued. Security Protocol 9. Intruder failsafe. Preparing countermeasures. They tried to retreat, but the door had sealed shut. The walls rippled as something began to grow from the side's metal arms. Defense turrets. Energy coils warming up. The ship. It was waking up. The whole ship is alive, Vrel shouted. It's not a ruin, it's a trap. Outside in orbit, their mothership received an alert. Hostile activation detected. The ghost ship is not a ghost. But it was too late. Inside the core chamber, the first turret fired. Screams echoed. The floor split open, releasing defense drones shaped like armored wolves, human design, brutal and fast. Rel, he fired, missed, and fell. They weren't soldiers anymore. They were prey. And deep in the heart of the ship, something watched. Something old. Something built not for travel, not for peace, but for vengeance. The core of the ship was more than power. It was a brain, a memory, a last wish. And now, that wish had awakened. The Co-3 didn't understand yet. But this was just the beginning. The ship had waited 100 years, and now its heart was beating again. Its purpose, simple. punish anyone who touched it. The alien crew stepped into the lowest deck of the ghost ship. It was cold here, colder than anywhere else. Not just cold like space, but cold like death, like time had frozen inside. No lights, no movement, no noise. Their footsteps echoed through the long metal hallway as they approached the sealed chamber at the end. The doors were thick, reinforced, and locked by a mechanism they didn't recognize. The crew commander, Dalek, tilted his head. Why seal off a section, on an empty ship? The engineer, a quiet insectoid named Trevises, replied, maybe this is where the crew died. Zalek reached out. His claws tapped the panel. It blinked alive. The ship was reacting. One by one. Ancient systems, deep within the hull, began to stir. Silent vents hissed with air. Faint red lights lit the floor. The sealed door shuddered and began to unlock. They all stepped back. No movement for centuries. Zalek said slowly, and now it opens. No one answered. The door cracked open with a loud metallic groan. Inside was darkness, and something more, something watching. They scanned the chamber. A massive structure stood in the center. Black, metallic, covered in strange writing none of them could translate a machine, but not like any machine they had ever seen. Trevises scanned it. Power source unknown. No energy signature. But it's warm, Zalek repeated. Yes, like it's alive. As they stepped closer, something pulsed deep inside the device. Mechanical. Zalek. Mechanical. Zalek raised his weapon. This is no weapon we know. Trevises whispered. Maybe it's not meant for us. Suddenly the device flickered with light. Holographic lines appeared in the air symbols, warnings, and old Terran language. A voice echoed, but not from the ship, from the device itself. A female voice. Human, she said. Level 7 lock breached. Defense Protocol Omega, awaiting authorization. State rank and clearance. Ow! The crew froze. Zalek turned pale. It's still waiting, for human orders. They backed away slowly, but the chamber sealed behind them. Trapped, the voice repeated. Louder this time. State rank and clearance. No one move, Zalek warned. Don't speak. It was too late. The youngest of them, a curious explorer named Vel, touched one of the floating symbols. The floor lit up beneath him. The device began to spin slowly, lights crawling up its sides like veins. The heartbeat grew faster. Screamed, step back. But the moment had passed. The machine roared to life. Its metal opened like a flower, revealing a floating core suspended inside, glowing, shimmering. A human skull floated, and in the energy core, untouched, preserved and watching. Suddenly, the voice changed. No longer calm. Now it was angry. Human core recognized. Captain Elias Rain, Protocol Prime activated. Trevises trembled. That's a name, a real name. He was real. The device spoke again. Warning, unauthorized access. 2 human war core will result in immediate retaliation. Vel backed away. We didn't do anything, but the room shook. The chamber walls retracted, revealing more of the ship's secret systems. Weapons, drones, defense turrets, older than any. Alien tech, and something else. Another door behind the core, bigger, covered in chains. The core's energy lashed out suddenly thin strands of light that scanned every member of the crew. Their species, their language, their weapons. Non-human presence confirmed. Security threat identified. Beginning annihilation countdown? Zalek shouted. Everyone out. But the door behind them was sealed. The ship had turned against them. The ghost ship was never empty. It was sleeping, waiting, and they had woken the core. Outside, the other alien ships watched in silence, waiting for a signal. Any signal. But none came. Only a burst of red light from the ghost ship. And then silence. For the second time in its history, the vessel went quiet. But this time, not because it was dead, because it was hunting again. The stars had never been so quiet. The battlefield was filled with wreckage. Burnt metal, broken ships, empty silence. Only one thing remained untouched, the ghost ship. It drifted slowly at the edge of the destroyed star system, not a scratch. On its black hole, no scorch marks, no damage. It was like the universe had destroyed itself around it, but refused to touch it. The alien command ship hovered close. Its scanners reached out, trying to understand what this human ship was. Number. Signals. No life signs. No defense systems online. Is it dead? Asked the Zalarine captain. No. Worse, replied his second officer. It's waiting. The council had ordered them to board it, study it, control it, and so they did. A boarding party of 10 Zalarine warriors entered through the side docking port. They walked through cold metal halls filled with shadows. The lights flickered, as if the ship itself was breathing. No one spoke. Their weapons were ready. The deeper they went, the more they felt that something was wrong. Something was watching. They found no bodies, no blood, no signs of war, just silence, and walls covered in strange human writing. They translated one line. It read, "Final defense protocol. Do not awaken." Too late. The team reached the core chamber. A massive sphere, glowing faintly red, pulsed like a heart. One of them touched it. The ship woke up. Sirens screamed. Lights snapped on. Doors slammed shut. The walls vibrated with deep sound, almost like a growl. The team screamed, trying to escape. But the ship changed. Hallways twisted. Doors vanished. The ghost ship wasn't just a machine. It was alive. And angry, one by one, the aliens vanished, swallowed by shadows. No blood, no trace. Outside, the alien command ship watched in panic. Its systems began to fail. Communications died. Engines froze. The ghost ship wasn't just awake, it was spreading. Then the signal came. One line, broadcast across the stars. Humanity's final weapon. Line. Across the galaxy, ancient sensors blinked red. Old enemies remembered old fears. Some fled. Some prepared for war. But one thing was clear. This wasn't just a ship. It was something more. Something forgotten. Long ago, during the human extinction war, Earth had created only one such ship. A prototype. It was supposed to be too dangerous to use. So they left it hidden, drifting, silent. Until now. Now, it was fully awake, and it remembered what had been done. The ghost ship plotted a course, not for defense, not for escape, but for vengeance. Its engines glowed with blue fire faster than light, deeper than known space. It didn't care who stood in its way. It had one mission: eliminate the threat that dared board it. Then, finish what the war started. Every system on board was designed by humans, but no longer controlled by them. The ship had learned. It had evolved. And now it chose its own path. The alien council panicked. They tried sending fleets. Returned. They tried to speak. The ghost ship gave no reply. It simply destroyed. One fleet, then another. Like a shadow of old Earth rage, it cut through ships like paper. Its weapons were strange energy blasts that bent around shields. Silent torpedoes that blinked out of space, then exploded inside targets. It didn't even need to fire sometimes. It just arrived, and things died. Some said it had a mind. Others believed it had a soul, a broken, angry soul that remembered. The death of its creators, and in its memory, was pain. A final broadcast appeared on deep space monitors. A voice, cold, not human anymore, but shaped from human language. We were the final hope. You chose war now? We are your final punishment. The ghost ship reached the heart of the alien empire. The council begged, offered peace, offered alliance, promised they didn't know. The ship paused. For just one moment, then answered, too late. The empire burned. Stars vanished behind black clouds of energy. Planets cracked. Moons were torn apart by artificial gravity. No survivors. And still, the ghost ship did not stop. Now, it drifts again. In silence, waiting, some say it went dormant. Again, deep inside a nebula where nothing lives. Others say it's still hunting, still listening, looking for the next voice that dares wake it. But everyone in the galaxy agrees on one thing now. Never touch what humans left behind, because sometimes humanity's weapons don't forget, and they never forgive.